Hello, SpeedGaming, and welcome to another Link to the Past Randomizer League Season 4 match. We've got an exciting Week 5 match between Did You Check Your Boot, Werfjig versus I Like Big Boots, Ganon's Gone Wild. So we got a boot versus boot seed, or race. My name's Willard J. Bradley. I'm here with Cool Papa Bell.
Hello, hello. How's everybody doing today?
Personally, I'm doing swell. Thank you. How are you?
I am doing great. I'm excited to see some more cross keys. Can never quite get enough of it, which is good because we've seen a lot of it this week.
It is such a personally for me, it's such a fun mode to play just because it's so much. I don't know. It's longer, so it tends to be more laid back and more relaxing. And I don't know. There's just something about taking notes and marking entrances and stuff that's very satisfying. Until you're like, an hour and 40 in, and you need one more item for go mode, and you have a million places to look.
Yeah, I always love it because it feels more like you're actually exploring and like playing a Metroidvania type game for the first time. You have to figure out how to get places and what you need where and stuff like that. So yeah, it's a really fun mode, but it can get really frustrating near the end.
Yeah, and we've seen some nutty seeds so far this journey for this week as well, with some really awful item locations. And let's hope we get something just as equally awful today. I mean, we want it to be fun, so there's fun and it's, you know what I mean. We're not asking for this to be painful for our runners for our own entertainment. That would be horrible.
Certainly, chat has never asked for that in the past.
No, we want these runners to have a good, fun time, and we want a good close race. Those are the two qualifiers when it comes to these randomizer races. And we're getting a look at our first two items from our first two starting locations. Just a compass in the sanctuary, but 3 bombs here in Link's house is kind of nice. And the funny thing about this, a common starting route in Cross Keys is to set up for Houlihan. And with the location of the Sank being at the ferry drop down, it makes it a lot easier to just immediately set that up. It looks like GGW will get an extra check-in over here at the Witch's Hut, which is an easy spot to, put off for a very long time.
Yeah, that's why it became such a common starting spot, was to just get it done so you didn't forget about it, and if there was, something important there, it was sort of a hedge against your opponent getting lucky and finding that first.
Mm-hmm. I feel like, he doesn't know that the Sank start is at Ferry, but I feel like I would have gone ahead and checked that connector while I was there, but understandable. I don't know. I'm starting to feel like maybe starting Sank is a better choice, because you always know where Link's house is going to be because it's always the same. But for Sank, it could be in a multitude of places, including at the Ganon dropdown at the pyramid in the Dark World. So getting that information early can be pretty beneficial. Utilizing those 3 bombs from Link's house, we're going to get a big key to Eastern in the back of Escape, as well as another 3-pack of bombs.
Yeah, nothing overly exciting yet. We did see one end of Hookshot Cave, just south of Link's house. Probably not going to go there until we can actually get some items out of that, or we are desperate for connectors, which certainly not there yet.
Yeah, it's good to find connectors when you have stuff that will actually allow you to do stuff. Because, you'll find a connector and it pops you out in the Dark World, and you're like, okay, I don't really want to do bunny walking stuff. So, but we've seen plenty of seeds that require that bunny walking to find your Moon Pearl or find your progression or find another connector that gets you back in the Light World.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing early on when you're sort of exploring of which connectors do you follow, and for the most part, you don't want to follow too many connectors because it's sort of like, well, the best case scenario is you find more entrances, but you could also just, walk to Kakariko and find a bunch of entrances, right? So early on, we're not going to follow a lot of connectors for the most part.
Yeah, you find the front of Hyrule Castle, and it's like, I could check both of these connectors, but there is also a chance while I'm just clearing out all the entrances in Kakariko that I find one or both of them as well, and then I'm just kind of not really utilizing that time well. But there are, multiple ways you can play this mode. We see both our runners have not even made it to Kakariko yet, despite that being a plethora of entrances to check, but nothing wrong with that. You never know what you can find. I remember in my race, I went straight to Kakariko, but if I had just gone right of Link's house, I would have found the boots 16 minutes earlier. But that's just how it goes. You can't really predict that or plan around it too much. There's our sick kid. And a big 20 at Lumberjack at the Uncle. I believe that's the Uncle drop down. Yeah, so.
It's at least not a terrible spot for Sick Kid. If we find the flute at some point, we can get back there pretty quickly.
We got a green pendant at Tower of Hera. It's hanging out in the front of Hyrule Castle. Let's see what he's got going on. He's got a small key to Meyer, which is nice, but not what you're looking for. Generally, when it comes to the any sort of key sanity, you're looking for like a Swamp Small, Thieves Town Small. That's a good one to get early. Skullwood Small can actually be pretty beneficial, just depending on how the Skullwood's layout tends to look, because you never know if you're going to get like locked in the back of it based on where how the entrances work there.
See another drop down here at the Sanctuary entrance. That is where Ganon is.
So now it's all coming down to where is the one drop down that we really want to see, the Kakariko Well, and hopefully it's not at either the Ganon hole locked behind Ganon's Tower in Aga 2, or up here at Lumberjack, which would be locked by Castle Tower. Always so relieved when I walk up here and it's like Uncle. I'm like, yes. I don't have to think about Castle Tower. Ooh. Where have I seen that before? We had looked like a dark room on the right maze race entrance, but a glove at the maze race.
And that's not a bad find at Lumberjack either. That is the useless fairy drop down.
And we do acquire our first pod key at the library, which happened to be the Cave 45 entrance, or Cave South of Grove, whatever you want to call it. So the interesting thing about that glove, we talked about this earlier about, connectors. Ooh, nice Hype Cave find. That glove could be available via a connector that we have access to right now. Or it could be locked behind Dark World access and the mirror. And, these runners don't know that. They won't know that. But knowing that the glove is there might make them want to start, following through on more of these connectors in case it kicks you out there.
Yeah, when you first start playing Entrance, there are a lot of weird, sort of quirky things that can catch you, and getting to the race game item and getting to that left side of the brother's house is one of those that you have to get there either finding the right connector or through the Dark World. And so, the times you have to bunny walk there and mirror back to it to find your Moon Pearl or ridiculous things like that can really catch you when you're starting to learn this mode.
Mm-hmm. And in this mode especially, I think... obviously we need a glove to beat the game, but at the same time, having a glove, especially early on, is very good for efficiency. Like, if you want to go to Ice Rock Cave, you can check all 3 entrances there instead of having to leave the one underneath the rock behind. And especially in this mode, when you're checking connectors and it kicks you out at a rock location that you can't go back in, it's beyond frustrating. to not have a glove early.
So we've got Blind's Hut here, as both of our runners are heading into the Kakariko area from different directions.
And we found quite a few things here. We got our first bottle out of Blind's Hut. I think we did see a Turtle Rock Small and a Skullwood Small. We also did see Spiral Cave. There is our Kakariko well at the Magic Bat drop. So that is pretty nice. I don't think either have checked Kakariko well yet, maybe? Or maybe we did.
Correct. I think we haven't seen that yet. There's some nice vanilla Smiths, though.
So that's going to be either Uncle or it's going to be... What's the last one?
Have you seen Magic Bat?
Magic Bat, yeah, okay. All right, so that means that Uncle is going to be locked behind Aga 2. So that's going to be 2 items locked behind defeating Aghanim 2. We did see... So we also saw one of the T-Rock entrances, the Laser Eyes entrance. We also did see Misery Mire here in Kakariko. So pretty well-rounded Kakariko. A lot of stuff in here. A lot of, a few connectors. Good array of entrances.
And there was a good indicator of this thing about the connectors. Here's the 2 sides of the Brothers Hut about 10 feet apart in Kakariko. So chasing that connector, good way to waste some time.
It's kind of a nice thing to discover, because then you can immediately just mark both of them as nothing and forget about them. And then that's one less connector you have to think about.
Also just saw the potion shop there as well, so another fetch quest turn in, tracked down.
Yeah, so these runners are going to want something that's going to allow them to get back to Kakariko conveniently. Ideally, a flute. An early flute is always super nice in these seeds. That is still a very empty inventory. We did see Sick Kids, so we could go check that. I believe... Was Sick Kid like south of Kakariko?
Sick Kid is at the cave at the Flute 5 spot.
Oh, okay. That's a little bit out of the way.
Yeah, walking back there does not sound great.
And Spiral Cave also doesn't feel like a good play either when your only means of fighting is bombs and you want to hold on to those bombs as long as you can.
Yeah, and also just the fact that you have no idea where that's going to let you out. So if that were, your last entrance in an area and you're ready to go somewhere else, maybe you would go for it, but...
So I guess next up, we haven't seen the South Shore area yet. We do have, a few connectors that we could go check. I think. Well, one would be that Spiral Cave. We did see both sides of Hookshot Cave as well, so that's donezo. And then, yeah, at the potion shop entrance, there was that Death Mountain drop-down cave that was in there. Could always go back. Another early goal of these seeds for the player is to find access to Death Mountain and save the old man, especially early, just because that opens up a new save and quit point, gives you access to more of the overworld, potentially even gives you a Dark World access point. Obviously, if we did find him, it would be out of logic since we don't have the lamp, but those would be something to look out for. Yeah, and it seems like both runners just kind of did everything that the other one did in opposite order. Basically.
Yeah, pretty much. So we're kind of getting funneled towards South Shore, which, like you said, is usually something you would much prefer to have a glove before you do because of those 2 entrances under rocks, but it feels like we don't have much else of a choice, so...
Yeah, knowing that glove is there, I would almost be driving. If I was Ganon's Gone Wild, I'd be heading right back to Potion Shop to check that connector. just for that information, because if that kicks you out at left side maze race, you can get a glove before South Shore. That'd be a huge advantage.
Yeah, Warpjig is heading back up into Kakariko. This could be maybe a trip to Spiral Cave, since he's pretty much done with the rest of the village here.
Would be. I'd be a little nervous going into Spiral Cave with 3 hearts. But 7 bombs. Shouldn't have too much trouble, but let's see where he goes.
This is good, though. On GGW's side, has not been over to the eastern area yet, so will find Sick Kid after finding this bottle, which is always good.
Yeah, unfortunately, I haven't used that blue potion early on Spiral Cave on Warpjig's side. Not something you want to do, but, you know, you never know if we find, like, Pyramid Fairy or the Waterfall Fairy, you might get a free blue refill. Oh-ho! Well, there's our Death Mountain access. Gotta be very careful, though. A lot of things up here will deal a full heart.
Yeah, and gonna be working real hard to not take a death, because having to walk back through Spiral Cave on no boots, no sword to get back up here would be very rough.
And first entrance we find up here on Death Mountain is Hyrule Castle main. Hyrule Castle left, leading to the Dark World Laser Bridge exit, which is kind of useless right now unless we find a mirror somewhere. And yeah, the funny thing is, if Warpjig wants to check the front of Hyrule Castle, he either needs to hope that this connector is back to the Light World, otherwise he's going to have to Death Warp here inside.
Well, he could just walk back out the main entrance, right, and then pop back in, so...
Oh, that's true, yeah. And so we have Hyrule Castle leading to Death Mountain, East Dark Death Mountain, and Dark World Flute 5 near the Palace of Darkness. And it looks like Ganon Gone Wild is going to head back to that drop down you saw earlier. Warpjig taking an intentional death just to get an extra heart to have a little bit safer of a climb up West Death Mountain.
Yeah, at least the upside of this cave is that this is the nice end of this, because you can just drop straight down and then head out the other side, so it's at least a quick connector to follow.
That's good info. And begins the bunny walking as we see a French Vanilla Moon Pearl here in Tower of Hera up on Death Mountain. So that Spiral Cave connector was indeed the good choice here. I don't know, how do you feel about getting Moon Pearl at 16 minutes in? Good? Bad? Nervous? Overwhelmed?
I mean, it's never happened to me before, but yeah, I would say nervous is a good indicator, because now it just opens up so much, especially once you find this connector into the Dark World. You can just walk around the entire Dark Overworld, and there's just entrances all over the place.
Yeah, it looks like Ganon Gone Wild isn't going to continue walking around as a bunny. We also did get from them information about 2 of our crystal dungeons. Our Thieves Town and Ice Palace will be our red crystals, the 2 that we need to acquire to unlock the Big Bomb to open up the Pyramid Fairy entrance, which could be a required entrance later on. We don't...
Nice mini Moldorm cave here, too.
See if we can find something good like a sword. Okay. Well, there you go. Thanks, Mini Moldorm Cave. Anything else? Big key to Pod. That is a good find.
Yeah,
We already have big keys to Pod and Eastern.
Oh yeah, we can just go to Pod and then mirror to Eastern. Oh wait.
Oh wait, wrong.
But yeah, that sword's definitely good news, because that will make that Spiral Cave trip a lot more appealing.
Mm-hmm. Now, there is still the possibility that Ganon's Gone Wild could find the other side of the cave that Warpjig is in. There's a second sword. Warpjig is in currently, the Old Man Rescue Cave, and could use that sword to light the way through that cave to get up to Death Mountain.
Yeah, identifying what dark room you're in is a unique challenge to entrance modes, but the normal Death Mountain Ascent Cave is pretty easy since there's that cliff you jump off of at the very beginning, so you know right where you are.
Yeah, it's kind of one of the skills you have to acquire when playing this mode, because you could get some good info or even a good sequence break if you go through one of those dark rooms and takes you somewhere useful. Like that left side maze race that has a glove. You never know. Old Man returning a lamp-locked mushroom, and we have already seen the potion shop, so we could actually turn that in. Now, unfortunately, there was a little bit of lag on our side, so we did not see what cave Ganon's Gone Wild found at Agnes Cave, but I'm assuming it was either useless or something he couldn't venture too far into.
Oh man, and another Dark World connector. So that's through the Village Elder's Hut, I believe that was, which will lead us over from Death Mountain into the pod area.
So that's two connectors that kick you out in this area. The other one being through Hyrule Castle. And we do have enough money, we can go ahead and open up Palace of Darkness. Kind of nice to get this one out of the way, really.
Yeah, this is an interesting choice because, again, you can do some bunny walking, go check the pyramid item here, but I don't know if Warpjig will want to go back through this connector and get those two entrances on West Dark Death Mountain, since those are now in logic with the with this Moon Pearl.
Yeah. Yeah, it feels bad to isolate that, especially when you don't have, very convenient access back up to Death Mountain. It's kind of nice to clear it out. I could see him go ahead and knock it out, go back in and get those two checks. So we see over on Ganon's Gone Wild side getting his Moon Pearl. Getting it a little bit later, we'll have this double sword advantage, which will help out, at least in keeping himself alive. Here on Death Mountain. Or at least for stopping these dead. I guess there is not any more dead rocks in the way for now. Man, these connectors just don't stop, do they?
Yeah, this is the sort of seed that I hate, where it's just like, okay, there's like this branches in 3 different directions, and each one of those branches in 3 other directions, and you just kind of have to pick a rabbit hole to go down.
Your opponent's going to pick a different one and find that glove on left side maze race while you're running around looking elsewhere. Also, I did just notice on Ganon's Gone Wild side that Warpjig probably already saw that we did find the back of desert. So now we found all parts of desert now. And apparently desert is a crystal, so that's good. Just need to get a big key and a fire source. And I guess technically a small key to logically open up Lamels. Another good connector to find.
Okay, and so that right end of the Turtle Rock Ledge is the drop down from Spectacle Rock Cave.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be really nice to have a mirror right now for being on that ledge, but no such luck.
Yeah, it's good information to have when you're kind of getting towards the end and you're kind of running out of good connector or entrances to check, looking for like that last dungeon or something. Be like, oh yeah, okay, if I go through desert and I go out left side, I'll be at T-Rock Connector, and then I can mirror and check Mimic Cave, and oh, there it is, there's Eastern. Oh my gosh, that's another good one to find too. Holy cow. Ooh. Oh, that's unfortunate. Not much really you can do. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you drop down and hold straight left, you won't get hit by the Murderdactyl. But I don't know if that's always consistent.
Yeah, I was always under the impression it was some sort of RNG of whether you got hit there or not, but I'm not sure. But Old Man letting us out at the Vanilla Turtle Rock entrance, so that gives us some access to East Dark Death Mountain.
Which is also really nice if you can find the mirror. So
I was going to say, that's like the 4th spot in the last minute that we've said, man, I wish I had a mirror right now.
Right? Oh, nice. Small Key in Spectacle Rock Cave. And if you want, you can start at the Old Man, drop down there, drop down again, and then all of a sudden you're back at T-Rock Connector to mirror. So that's actually kind of nice, knowing that you don't have to go all the way through Desert Palace again to get to that T-Rock Connector. Well, this is going to also work out. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, of course, this stuff that GGW is doing in Hyrule Castle is not technically in logic, because you could, of course, waste one of these keys in the back and not be able to get to the cell until we find the sewer key in the wild, but...
Yeah, I think going for this when you've already cleared the back of sewers, it is pretty common.
Yeah, it's one of those bits of logic that it's good to know about, but you shouldn't feel compelled to follow it by any stretch.
Nice vanilla spike cave here on West Dark Death Mountain. As Ganon's Gone Wild finds the Ether Medallion. Now, we did see the medallion to get into T-Rock was Bombos. We have found a lot of good connectors. We have yet to find one that takes us to the Mire area, which would be another one that's good to find, has a lot of entrances, and would be even better if you had the mirror. But at the same time, it's one that possibly there won't be a connector to it. You might have to get the mirror or the mitts and the flute to get over there. So.
Yeah, and I think you were going to say the other nice thing about that Old Man Cave is that it let Wurfjig clean up that stuff on West Dark Death Mountain with no trouble, so...
Mm-hmm. Oh, and unfortunately, Wurfjig, down to only 2 bombs, will not be able to clear that and get his sword, but fortunately, one screen to the left here, he'll find a sword, so we can go back and get his other sword. I missed what was in the Dark Cross chest.
Just more bombs that GGW could then use to Death Warp out.
Nice. So, as of right now, we've seen Hyrule Castle, we've seen Misery Mire, we've seen one entrance to T-Rock. Is that... And we've seen Hera.
Hera as well, yep.
That's it. Now, it's still very early, so of course we don't know what any of our pendant dungeons are. And this is a 7/7 quote-unquote fast Ganon, or crystals, if you will, where the goal is you need to get your 7 crystals just to fight Ganon. I mean, we could potentially never go into Ganon's tower, because beating Agatu is not required, since the drop-downs are shuffled. And since Ganon was at, what? Escape? Back of Escape was where Ganon was?
Correct.
We just gotta get 7 crystals and a glove. And we're good to go. And a fire source. Piece of cake.
So it feels like the next big thing we've got is to follow that connector that we had from, what was that, Potion Shop? Which led us out around the Bumper Ledge area. Now that we have that Moon Pearl, it feels like Dark Village is a good place to go.
Yeah, Dark Village, even Skull Woods would be good to go, because we do have that Skull Woods small, so kind of help for some opening up stuff in there. Of course, the pinball room in Skull Woods is always a Skullwood small in this mode, just because it would be unfun to drop down into pinball room and get locked in there and have to save and quit. So
But in non-entrance insanity, I guess it is fun, so...
Well, you should know better. Alright, well, we found another dungeon, Ganon's Tower. Don't have much access to stuff in here. I mean, we can only get 2 items and eyes on a 3rd. There's our Tower of Hera big key. Which, unlocks 3 chests back in Tower of Hera. So there's that. I do like this. We're actually going to go ahead and see what's on the torch. You never know when we're going to find the boots, but having this info would be beneficial. It's just 20 bucks, so...
Yeah, not the greatest spot for GT. I've definitely had it over in this area a couple of times, and it's hard to know when to come back if you don't have the flute, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, we have no keys for it either. We really can't do anything in GT for a while until we find a couple more items.
Yeah,
so we probably won't be heading back there anytime soon.
Yeah, it's like if you find the cane, do I want to walk all the way back there just to do compass room? You know, stuff like that.
Mm. Yeah, it does kind of seem like we need to head in that direction to the West Dark World area. I'm not sure what Warfjake's doing. He was kind of hesitating, like he wasn't sure where he was going. Okay, gonna take this to get back to the T-Rock connector to get back to Desert. Did we see him go out the main entrance in Desert? I want to say yes, but I don't remember.
I think this was maybe... I'm trying to keep track of where he would have left Desert to get back here. Yeah, maybe he just went out to the right side of Desert and got to the pod area, or maybe I'm just thinking that because GGW is there right now.
Yeah, we found 2 connectors that kicked us out into the pod area. One was at that spot right there on GGW's side. Was it main entrance? Oh, yeah, you're right. That is true. I think main entrance was the top of Bumper Ledge. Okay.
Yes, yeah. So this is what he's doing. He just wants to get to Bumper Ledge to do this Dark Village stuff.
Now, he's got to be careful because I think the bird. Actually, I think the bird. Does the bird do 3 damage or 4 damage on Green Melon? Remember, I want to say 3. I was like, there's no way a bird would be stronger than a chain chomp. Come on. Doesn't make sense. Now, Pokey, those things are strong. Because there's like 4 on top of each other.
I mean, if we judge by Mario standards, Pokies and Chain Chomps do equivalent amounts of damage, right?
Well, I mean... Yeah, I guess. Can't argue with that. Alright, well, Warpjig now going to get probably that big bomb information. Cross keys is just, I don't know, it's just a really fun mode. I really like it. It can be really frustrating towards the end, but so can any mode when you're like hunting one item and you have like 2 pendant dungeons left and some overworld spots and you're like, what do I do? But like cross keys, trying to piece everything together, it's just, I don't know. I think it's comfy, but I also don't mind being in the Dark World with 4 hearts green mail and 1 to 2 to 0 to swords.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely a learning curve you've got to get over to do cross keys. I remember one of my earliest ones, I just could not find my 7th crystal dungeon, and it was just in that cave, like 2 screens east of Link's house, that I'd just forgotten to ever check, so...
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. I've been there before. Oh, man, I lost. Where was Meyer? Oh, it was in that one spot. Oh, I accidentally marked that I was there. Whoops.
Yeah, but once you mostly get over those, I think it's a great mode, so... I say mostly, because I'll still screw that up once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I say mostly until it's like, okay, here we are again. I need an Eastern Big Key, and all I have left is a GT Climb or Pendant Swamp. What do I pick? Just every time. Ooh, okay. Found a book here in Skull Woods. We do have the Master Sword, so... if we were to find our way up to the top of West Death Mountain via a mirror or maybe a connector, we could check Ether Tablet. Otherwise, the only thing that does for us is lets us open up the desert entrance and or check the pedestal. Yeah, I feel like Warp Jig probably would have been faster just to take 2 hits from a Gibdo to get out of there.
At least this is a nice Skull Woods layout. So
Yeah.
Get everywhere with no trouble.
Like I was saying earlier, if that front entrance that has the big chest, if that's only accessible via the back by dropping down one of the holes, then, you know, you're basically locked in the back unless that one drop down leads back to this one. So it's Skullwoods can be kind of a pain in the butt in a mode like this.
Flippers at the big key chest.
Yeah, we haven't seen any of our like Hylia Zora stuff, so that puts in, you know, you can go to Hobo, you can go to Zora Ledge. If we get a little bit more money, we can go visit Zora as well. You can also check the waterfall and the Hylia Island Capacity Ferry entrance.
Also the option of walking all the way around to Hype Cave and then swimming over to the Dark Ice Rod Cave stuff.
Ugh. Terrible. But you're right. You're gonna really hope you find. I mean, right now, if you're a Warp Jig or, you know, eventually GGW, you're hoping you run into that mirror in Village of Outcast, so you can go get that glove, and then all of a sudden that play feels less bad.
Yeah, especially if you haven't checked the Light World Ice Rod stuff, swimming over there for 6 entrances feels really good. Somehow more than twice as good as swimming over there for 3 entrances. I don't know how
Somehow.
that up, but it
Somehow. Alright, what do we got? I kind of expect another dungeon to show up soon, because we have not seen enough of them. Do you think the game's going to be mean and give him Eastern Palace without a bow? Does that...
I don't see why it would stop now.
It's in the, like the last few cross keys I've played, that's always been a dilemma. It's like, do I go... If I find Eastern and I don't have the means to like full clear it on my first go, then I might just put it off and hold off until I can actually do it all in one. But I don't know, it depends. I think in this situation with Big Key and no bow, I would probably go in. But maybe not without Lamp, I'd be a little less inclined to check.
Yeah, I tend to be too thorough when I find things. So, you know, I waste a bunch of time double dipping dungeons, and then my opponent's like, oh yeah, I never went in there. And I'm like, oh, well, that's why I lost by 10 minutes, because I did
yeah.
4 2-minute decisions that were a bad idea.
It's tough. You really gotta make those decisions, and they can be pretty hard. Because, you know, you want to save time, but, you know, if the first chest of Eastern that you can't beat has something super important, you know, the last thing you want to do is leave that behind for another 20 minutes. The seed has been kind of, I'd say, rude, just because, you know, we're kind of forced into this full walk around the Dark World, and if we don't find anything by the end of this, then it's like, what do I do? What's the next big play?
And there was just nothing in the Dark Village. No pod small key.
I mean, I guess we do have all that flipper lock checks that we can do after this, if this doesn't amount to anything. But got like what, 4 entrances over here, and then gotta take a swim.
Yeah, I don't think either of our runners got to the pyramid item itself, and then of course Catfish and the Dark Potion Shop entrances up there.
Yeah, I guess they could, with the flippers now, they could drop in the water and get up to the potion shop. Because otherwise, you either need Flipper's glove or hammer to get up there. Man, won't be able to say hi to Catfish yet. Now, if we find a mirror here, then we can go check Bombo's tablet right away. That'd be nice. King's Tomb? Come on, do it. Do the funny. That's pretty funny.
I mean, that's progression at least. We got items in Hookshot Cave. We got Light World East Death Mountain.
Mm-hmm. We don't have a very easy way to get back up to Light World East Death Mountain, aside from going through Spiral Cave again, but it is something.
Oh yeah, because that's... I'm checking my map here that I'm trying to keep track of entrances, but that's back of Desert that we found, not one of the main Desert entrances.
Oh, the one on West Death Mountain? Yeah. Yeah. I don't think either of the players stole a key there either. I guess knowing that Desert is a crystal, that's a little less of a... It's not as good of a play that you'd want to... I guess. I mean, I don't know. Especially with where Desert is, it's not very convenient to get back to.
Yeah, I still always steal the key out of habit. Like, you might as well just grab it. You don't have to save scum it later, so...
Mm-hmm.
I guess we could connect back up through, because... So there's a Hyrule Castle entrance up on the mountain right, and then one of those let out at Dark Flute 5, so that could connect us back up there.
Oh yeah, that's true. It's about as convenient as it gets. Alright, what do we got in the Dark Ice Rod Cave or Dark Shopping Mall? We got Super Bunny Cave. That's 2 items and a connector. Don't be another connector. Don't do it. Okay. Well, yeah, this is an easy call. So that item on Pyramid's gonna hang out there for a little bit longer.
Yeah, we've got ways to get back to Pyramid that are way more convenient than getting back here, so definitely these 2 items here are a good play.
Mm-hmm. I'd also be, like, hoping to find the mirror before going to the Pyramid so that I could check the top of the castle when I go there. 50 bucks. And a small key to Hera. No fire source, so that's whatever. I like how we got the Hera big and then we got hookshot, so now you don't even have to... You can still Hera pot to get up there. Ooh. Ah, that's annoying. You're gonna hope that there's nothing there, because you do not want to have to go through all the way over there, all the way through Super Bunny Cave, just to find that.
And so GGW bailed on the Dark World Shopping Mall, did just want to go straight to this Hookshot Cave.
Yeah, and the nice thing about this is, you know, you could... It makes a little bit of difference, but you can utilize this as a connector to get you to Kakariko from Link's house.
Oh, Mire. Really?
Oh, now that I think about it, that hook shot does get us into Misery Mire. I don't know if I'd want to go in there without a fire source. I think I'd rather go beat Hera next. Beat Hera and then check out East Death Mountain? Because wasn't Hera up on Death Mountain, or was that in...
Yes, yeah, Hera is on Death Mountain, so... Alright, GGW, yep, we're going to Mire.
Well, we got what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items we can get in here. You never know. I mean, we could find a fire source in here as well. That's a possibility. What was this drop down?
Yeah, I didn't think this was anything. I thought this was like Lumberjack for 20 bucks or something. Oh, has Wolfjig just not been here yet?
No, I don't think he has.
Yeah, so he's just checking the drop down, and then he knew it was items of some sort, I think, because we're down to it was either Uncle or this Lumberjack. So in his mind.
Oh yeah, and he's also going to get information on where his green pendant is. Another pod small. So yeah, Trinity and green pendant is in logic, I believe. So that is a possibility. Kind of unfortunate that he didn't go and like beat Hera first and then come here, but he didn't know that this was here. I also tend to do this too, like put off checking Hyrule Castle and the Uncle drop down. Especially because, you know, some people like to sometimes route it at the beginning of the seed, but if you go there and it ends up being Kakariko well and you don't have any bombs, it's kind of frustrating.
Right. Oh, also frustrating is this spike chest up here that GGW is going to have some trouble getting to.
Yeah, you might have to burn that blue. Oh, we did get a Turtle Rock big. That's true. We could go back into Turtle Rock and check at least Lava Chest and Chain Chomps. And I guess Crystal Roller now. Nice moves. The amount of times I've died getting that chest in a mode like this is too dang high. That's the other thing, is if that item there was an item that gives you a text box, I think he would have died, because I think it would have buffered another piece of damage. But other than a T-Rock big, nothing much in here.
Yeah, and we've seen some TR entrances, but not the one for the big chest.
And he might actually be heading into... This might be T-Rock? No, that's Witch's Hut. Okay, so Mushroom was nothing. Found the Chicken Hut here at Capacity Ferry, just $5, but another one you can check off. That was a small key, wasn't it?
Yes, small key here in Spec Rock Cave.
Let me see. Swamp Small, that'd be a good one. Not that we can do anything in Swamp since we haven't found it and we haven't found the dam yet. Maybe another Pod Small? Oh, okay, alright. It's the Swamp Small. Alright. That's a good find. That is nice. We still don't know if Swamp is a required dungeon or not yet. But it's just, it's a good one to get out of the way. See what kind of shenanigans we can find over here on East Death Mountain. There is Palace of Darkness. We have the big key. We have 3 small keys, so we can clear a bit in here. Unfortunately, Ganon's gone wild. Using that blue potion means he won't be able to potion glitch to do right side.
He did, though, refill that potion actually when he checked the mushroom turn-in, so...
Oh, okay, cool. Well, good call. Yeah, right. That's true. He did check to see what the mushroom turn-in was. And when you have plenty of rupees, might as well. I mean, we're 46 minutes in. We do have red mail, but we still only have 4 heart containers. It's impressive. And we did see nothing of value on the Zora Ledge or on Zora. So that is not the answer. So these flippers, other than getting us a Swamp Small, have been kind of whatever. Classic.
I mean, why wouldn't it be?
It's always in here. Well, that brings us up to 4. So, to clear everything in here, you would have to... Unfortunately, since he already opened the front door, he's going to have to skip either Harmless Hellway or the vanilla Big Key Chest. Of course, since he doesn't have the bow to even beat Helma, he could just go ahead and open up all the doors or set up a save scum for it, but he probably wants to check out the rest of East Death Mountain before considering that.
Yeah, I would think probably what I would do is I would open Harmless Hellway, Death Warp, check all the other entrances, and then maybe think about save scumming the big key chest after I'm done on Death Mountain.
Yeah, I agree. Alright, Thieves Town big. That's good. Another good one.
But yeah, going from 3 to 4 keys actually feels really good in Pod, because you can do almost everything at that point. Without any weird backtracking through right side or anything like that.
Yeah, obviously 5 is like perfect, ideal, because then you could literally do everything and just have to hammer jump. But 4 is pretty close. I mean, I guess with 4 you could, if you had the hammer, you could try and avoid opening up the front door, but I think in this case, setting up a save scum is like much better. Because just having, I mean, obviously we're not in a position to skip the front door, so that's not even a talking point, but...
Yeah, and just in general, like, if you need all 6 pod keys, you're going to find them at some point, right? So it's probably better to just leave a random chest that's locked by all 6, save 1 for Helma, since it's a crystal, and then not worry too much about it. Like, yes, that could bite you, but the odds of that are so low that I don't think it's worth any amount of time to try and save that key.
Yeah. Well, there's your reward for one of the...
Totally worth it.
6 key locked spots. Enjoy. Now, unfortunately, the Dodongos that are in here will always deal a full heart, regardless of your armor upgrade. I believe the fire does. I don't know if it also is the contact damage. I know the fire will deal a full heart, but I don't know if running into them will also deal a full heart. But either way, sets up for easier Death Warp out of here.
That was a really smart hammer yump setup from GGW there. He was 1 pixel too low, and so then he sword buffered or pause buffered an upright movement, because if you'd just gone up for 1 frame, you go up 2 pixels, but upright you only go up 1. And there's the boots in Dark Maze.
Oh wow, the stun prize was a fairy. That's really nice. So out of logic, boots. Not only out of logic because no lamp, but also because we are short 2 pod smalls. But who cares? We have boots now. This is amazing.
It's actually really funny that the stun prize was a fairy, because Werfjig stunned some of the Stalfos in that room, but didn't actually kill them.
Alright, well, that is 3/4 of T-Rock found, and a vanilla T-Rock small in T-Rock. This seed's got all the funnies.
So this is sort of an interesting logical question once again. So those boots are logically behind all 6 pod small keys once again. Do you even think about that, or do you just sort of assume the pod keys are out there somewhere? I should assume these boots are in logic.
I mean, when we're still looking for so much stuff, I wouldn't even really worry too much about it. Unless you, like, find some really hefty progression or something. You can kind of piece stuff together, but I don't know, with small keys, it's kind of weird. Because you never know where those pod, like, you know, you could have one of the pod smalls be on, like, Pendant Left Side Swamp or some crap. Now, if it was, like, solely locked behind another item, as opposed to, like, or like, you know, if you Herapoded or something and found the boots, you're like, okay, well, this is locked behind a Herapig. So it's something worth considering, but I don't know if it would really make much of a difference.
Speaking of Herapoding.
We're also seeing our T-Rock Lava Chest, which is a small key to Ganon's Tower. Very nice Herapod. So we're finding good stuff, but it still doesn't really. This is not the big opening items that you're looking. Okay, that's a good item. That's
Yeah,
a big
it is.
opening item to find. Not. Okay, he doesn't have the big key. Sorry. Where was the big key? We just got that, didn't we?
Oh, yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe was it in those... It wasn't in the flipper checks that Werfjig did, was it?
I don't. No, it was before that. It was way before that. Ganon's Tower? Oh, right side Ganon's Tower over at Ice Rock Cave. Right, okay.
Ah, right, okay.
And then I think the Harris Small was in, not that that matters, but just to keep track, that was in the Super Bunny Cave, I believe. And there's our 5th Pod Small, so... Now we're just 2 items away from putting those boots in Logic. I don't know about you, but I'd be feeling pretty good in, all of a sudden having boots and a glove.
Yeah, GGW is on a good run right now.
Or if Jig having to get real creative in this crystal roller room. And there's our 6 Pod Small. Okay, so now we're just looking for the lamp to put those boots in Logic. Jeez.
Just proving the point, I guess, of just like the pod smalls are out there somewhere. Just pretend you have them. It's fine.
Mm-hmm.
So we get some initial boots checks here. Oh, this is nice. GGW can check Bonk Rocks and the Death Mountain Ascent entrance.
Yeah, those 2 items alone just open up a ton of new checks for us. And because now, I don't think Gan's Gone Wild has gone to the Ice Rock Cave. I know he hasn't gone to Dark Ice Rock Cave. He might have gone to... No, Light World Ice Rock Cave is where... Wasn't that where Ganon's Tower was? So I don't think he's been to either of them. And there's Paradox. That's a good chunk of items.
Yeah, it is. So 7 items in here, 2 more connectors.
Another big key to Ganon's Tower. Okay. Not much you can do with that yet. Here's lamp. Just right here. Right here. That's the lamp right there. All right, we got a lamp coming up here right now in 3, 2, 1 here. Okay, this is the lamp. All right, one more chance. Okay, never mind. These sound small. That's a nice one to find. So something worth noting for those that have played non-cross keys, have played like, your basic open or casual boots or standard. Those utilize, most of the time, will use the advanced logic, which makes it so that Fire Rod can be used logically to get through certain dark rooms. Cross keys does not utilize that at all. So any dark room is going to be always required, or always going to be lamp locked. So like the Rupee Hallway in Pod, Dark Cross, or the path to Armos in Eastern are always going to be lamp locked. Nah, that's funny.
That's one thing we wanted to check with those boots, so that's out of the way.
Yeah. And now I guess we'll go ahead and head to Dark Ice Arcade while we're over here.
And we'll see what's under this glove entrance. Could be pretty big if GGW finds something good here, being here with the glove.
I wonder if Warpjig's trying to find a fire source before heading into Tower of Hera, just so that they can full clear it on their second trip in. Well, we've already seen that. That's where Hera Small was. Nothing. Okay. Well, we did find Paradox Cave, which had just a couple keys, wasn't it? GT Big. Yeah, GT Big and some small keys.
Yeah, nothing too crazy in there.
We've already seen the bumper ledge, or the bumper cave entrance, because I believe one of the connectors popped us out there. So we still have the desert fairy rock to check. The bonk rocks next to Link's house. The hookshot cave entrance up on Death Mountain. That would be a quick check with a you just save and quit, start at Old Man, or pop out at Floating Island, check it right now. I guess that works too. No. Nothing. Man, what's it gonna be? What are we looking for? What's the next step?
Yeah, I am trying to think. It really does just feel like a lot of one-offs all over the place right now. I guess we haven't used that book yet. We could go to the Vanilla Desert entrance.
True. We could go turning green pendant.
Yeah, and I mean, green pendant plus these bonk rocks could be a thing. Or yeah, it looks like this will be the this rock, and then maybe front of desert.
Yeah, it looks like it. All right, what do we got? Nothing. Still nothing. Impressive. We are going to see what is in the Hera Big Chest on Worfjig's side, since we did not see that on GGW's. Another bottle.
At a certain point, we should stop being surprised when all of these entrances are nothing, but, like, there has to be something somewhere.
Oh, we're missing so many dungeons. Like, what's next? Thieves Town? Probably. If I had to guess. Nothing. Nothing. Still nothing. Okay. We can't do anything against Tower. We can't do anything in Pod. There's nothing else in Hera that we can do. Carmel Castle's cleared. Desert, we can't do anything. Maybe, you know what? Maybe there's just a mirror sitting on the pyramid or something. That would make so much sense. And would be absolutely terrible.
That would be completely absurd. Yeah, because there is also the Dark Potion Shop entrance that we haven't seen yet, so...
Yeah, and
we'll
Catfish
there soon.
This is going to be a new check here at this rock, as well as GGW finding GT for them. Well, they'll get that Tower of Hera big key. I mean, right now, the biggest thing that we would want to open stuff up would be the mirror, I'd say. Graveyard Ledge. Another small key. Where are we going? Castle Tower. We haven't seen that yet. Now, on Worfjig's side, we'll probably see every chest because of the whole 5 keys. Oh, well, actually, he's going to get a 6 key in here, too, so... Or...
Oh, does Worfjig not have a potion? Or maybe he just wants to check other entrances first to maybe see if you can find a bow or a fire source?
Maybe.
Area.
I mean, I think all 6 pot smalls have been in Logic. I've been keeping track of them.
Yeah, because
Personally.
like one on Moldorm, that's definitely in logic. I forget where the other one was now. Oh, it was
Crystal Roller Room was
yeah,
in logic.
I believe so. Oh, I'd have to think about how many actual TR keys do we have? Just the one? Oh, it looks like two between the runners.
Well, Crystal Roller isn't locked by any small keys. So.
Right. Yes. So we can get that with none. So yes, definitely in logic there.
I thought I could have sworn Warpjig it said that they had 5 pod smalls already. And then the 6th one is in the shooter room, or the Stalfos drop room, I'm pretty sure. Well, we'll see again shortly. I think that was it the T-Rock Big that was on both sides? Yeah, that's a 5. No, he already has the T-Rock Big. I don't
Thieves
remember what was
Big,
on.
I think, is on
Thieves Big, okay. Yeah, we are kind of running out of options. So, Pod Vanilla Big Key Chest, Green Pendant Turn In,
the East Dark World stuff.
yeah, Pyramid, Potion Shop, Catfish. I still don't know if we've actually seen the Bonk Rocks next to Link's house or not.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen the Light World ones.
Just waiting for this hammer to drop.
I was going to say, an hour and 5 minutes in before you have sort of traditional Dark World access is not really out of the ordinary for cross keys, but it does start to make you nervous, at least.
I mean, it's even funnier when you know where a glove is and you still haven't found a way to get to it. I'm wondering if we've seen... Have we seen all the potential connectors at this point? Aside from, like, the dark rooms, the dark caves?
I think we've followed most of them. I don't see any marked on my map that we haven't gotten to yet.
Yeah, it'd probably be pretty safe to assume that that other glove is probably mirror locked at this point. Warpjig gonna get his boots. Probably feeling a little bit better about that. And then yeah, I just want to see what's in that vanilla big key chest.
Oh no, was that a death in Dark Maze? Or was that the death door back to the boots? Okay, after
he got the boots.
Alright, no problem.
Alright, show us the goods. Come on. Give us something funny. Mirror would be probably the most game-changing item right now at this moment.
Oh
there
my
it is.
Gosh.
That is really bad for GGW.
That's brutal.
He is going to get his 6 pod small in here. But will he consider going back for that right away? I mean, that mirror now gives us those mitts, which opens up, Ice Palace entryway. We can do Smith Chain. We can do Graveyard Ledge and King's Tomb, Cave 45. We still haven't found a way to the Mire area, but there's a very good chance that that is probably going to be locked by Flute at this point. Okay, Wharfjake did pick up a potion. Same way that GGW did, picked up a potion after checking what the mushroom dropped.
Yeah, and the thing for GGW is, like, he is starting to get funneled into these last few locations that we've been talking about, but, like, unless they have a bow and a hammer, he's going to absolutely last location pod, because he's not going to want to go back there until he can finish the dungeon, if at all possible.
Yeah, and he also just completely skipped out on checking Crystal Roller Room. Which had the 6 pod small, so he's not even going to be thinking about that. Now, this is a pretty important match today, right now, particularly for I Like Big Boots. If GGW can get a win today, that will clinch a playoff spot for their team. But if not, then they still have some work left to do. There was a very close match between these two teams. I believe it was yesterday, Hitsuyan versus Tam, that came down to a few seconds. That would be worth watching.
Yeah, and both teams are in pretty good shape to make the playoffs. They're in the top half of their division, but seeding would definitely be a thing, and whichever team wins today will have the advantage for trying to fight for that second seed or even make it into first, because both of these teams have yet to play the Titans Mitts, who are currently leading the division. So this really will have a pretty big impact on the standings here for the rest of the season.
Mm-hmm. Well, we did find Easter. No bow yet. I believe that. I guess that was in Tower of Hera. And we did also see the hilarious Hyrule Castle Small up on Ether Tablet. Which, wasn't Ether in Blind's chest?
Yes. Yeah, that was on.
Or Zelda's Cell, excuse me.
Yeah.
Blind's chest. So, I wonder if this is going back to Hera to check the big chest. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like it. I don't know what else he can really do up here unless he's going to head back to Pod right away.
I mean, that would certainly be ideal for him, so...
Mm-hmm. I don't think we still haven't seen the green pennant turn in from either of them yet. I don't think so.
Yeah, and so if the plan is go turning the green pennant after this, right, it would be an ideal time to do a save scum if you wanted to, so...
That's it for what's in Logic here in Eastern without that lamp. Lamp's got to be showing up pretty soon, though, just because of those boots. But then again, have we really found anything super useful locked by the boots yet?
Oh, not really. Again, some random keys that we can't use yet.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, he did pick up another pod small, so he could go back and check that one chest and still... Oh, wow.
Holy moly.
That's a nice find. That's another really good out-of-logic check. Paying off with some overworld routing, or overworld movement.
So GGW is finally going to go to the pyramid here. What do you want to bet the lamp's just been chilling on the pyramid the whole time?
That would be very hilarious. I feel bad, though, because, obviously you want to be here with that mirror in hand to check the top of the castle, just a compass. It's certainly one of those things where it's like, okay, what are the odds that the one chest that that I skip in pod ends up being something super important? It's unfortunate, But that's how Rando goes sometimes.
It's just the creeping sense of dread, right? Because the more things that you check and don't find anything, the higher and higher those odds become.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and unfortunately, if there was any time for him to go check it, it would have been while he was up there clearing out Hera. But, yeah, maybe we'll go see that green pennant here soon. Catfish, that is a new check. Hopefully it's something huge that'll help balance things out a little. Nope. Dang. Unfortunate. Because that's the thing is, like, you know, Warp Jig has a ton of stuff he can do right now. So something like Catfish might not be on his mind. So if that ended up being something useful, that might have been a bailout for him, but...
Yeah, GGW is running back out of Catfish. I'm not sure where we're going. I guess hookshot across the river, and I'm not sure what's left to check. Nope, I don't know where we're going. Oh, maybe just one of these connectors down in the pod area.
Yeah, I might go back through Hyrule Castle to get up to the mountain. Castle Tower. Now, we did see a Castle Tower key on GGW's side. I don't remember where that was. But at this point, it would also lead to an out-of-logic check, unless this is the lamp right here. But it's the cane!
Oh my gosh!
Well, then... Well, I mean, we can go beat Meyer out of logic. We can check one item in the front of T-Rock.
We got right side of GT.
Not without a fire source.
Oh, right. So
we have tile. Well, we have tile room.
Tile room. I mean, given that about 3 times in a row in the last 5 minutes, Warp Jig has been like, well, here's, you know, a dumb location I can go to that got me one item. Oh, it's something amazing. I mean, we got the flute that way, the mirror that way, and now Kane.
I mean, just imagine if you didn't sequence break at all in this seed. You'd be bootsless, you'd be fluteless. That's why learning dark rooms, it's not even really about learning dark rooms, but I mean, that is an important thing to do, but it's like, just not being afraid to go ahead and sequence break, because it does give you information, because it's like, okay, well, I know where the lamp's not going to be, potentially. It's not going to be boots locked anywhere. It's not going to be in the Meyer area if that's the only means of getting to Meyer via flute and mitts, which, now that I think about it, we do have access to, because we can go get the mitts.
Yep, that's very true. And then that mirror is going to open up then the Desert Ledge entrances. So 2 more entrances there, and Checkerboard Cave.
Now we are going to see our green pennant turn in here on GGW's side, which we'll probably see, if it's something good, we'll probably see on Warp Jig's side when he goes and checks the pyramid. It is a big key to Desert. It is a required item, but no fire source, so that's just a one-off check for GGW now.
Yeah, but just one more fetch quest for GGW to do before getting funneled back into pod. Oh my gosh, and mirroring from Bumper Ledge gets us a small key in the library, which is the Desert Small.
Which is logically required for Desert, but also might lead to 2 good items, so... I think that's it for essential small keys. I think we've seen all of them at this point. Oh wow, how convenient with Desert being right here. How beautifully done. Oh man, we could have had this earlier with a steal the key. Could have had a red boomerang and a small key to Skullwoods. Where are we going? Where was the other part of Paradox Cave that we saw? It was a boots lock spot, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's the dark bonk rocks behind Link's house, and then the one end was the useless connector in the desert palace, or the desert area.
Oh, okay.
So we're gonna get the desert palace big chest from GGW. Hopefully he will then head back up the mountain after this.
Will this be the lamp we've been seeking for forever? No, it's just a map to Hera.
Goodness.
That's an insult. That sucks. Alright, so I don't think GGW has too much left. There is, for him, the Crystal Roller Room, and then the odd vanilla big key chest. That's all I can think of.
Yeah, this exit from Paradox just routes so well, too, for Worf. You could pick up K45 and then go right over to this glove. Oh, this feels really good.
And then go activate the flute, assuming he hasn't done that yet.
And then just immediately... Oh, the big chest of Turtle Rock.
Okay. I'd check that right away. Get that info. It's a crystal. So right now, our last two pendants are either going to be... Well, we're still missing a few maps, but Swamp Skull, Meyer, or T-Rock. Interesting.
So this, I think, maybe the... Knowing too much about logic is getting in GGW's head a little bit, because it feels like since he did not find that 6th pod small key, he might be thinking, well, it can't be in pod, because I've checked everything that's in logic there, since he did not go to Crystal Roller Room.
And that Crystal Roller Room is like, that's an easy one to forget about, if you're not thinking about it. It's like that, and backtracking through Laser Bridge to get to Crystal Roller Room.
Yeah.
Can definitely be in logic. Not in this seed, but in general. And yeah, this is a very common situation in cross keys where people are just like, what did I do wrong? Where do I go? What did I mess up? And it's always unfortunate to see. You want to see a good close race, but hopefully he pieces it together.
Here is the back of Skull Woods at the left side of the Brothers Hut outside of the race game.
Fortunately getting bunnied, so I'm gonna have to wait a little bit. Just for a heart piece. So can't clear this dungeon yet. No fire source. Has the mitts. And apparently Skullwoods was a pendant. I'm guessing we had a map for it, and the P showed up at the top left corner.
Yeah, that change I feel like has a bigger effect on cross keys than anything else, because in most modes, most key sanity modes, you would just check your map before you went to a dungeon anyway, right? But cross keys, sometimes you just find yourself in a dungeon when you had no idea that you were about to be there.
Yep. The other thing now is we could mirror and get to Kakariko Well.
Yeah.
Which, activate flute, or no, grab purple chest, go back in mirror, drop down, do Cackwell, go activate flute, turn that in. Oh, but then we could also have gone to, could have gone to Bombo's tablet. Ah!
Yeah, that's another spot where I personally would have been probably too thorough and gone to Bombo's tablet and then come back up to Cave 45, but that might have been a little bit too much given how much this was going to open up. Jeez.
Wow, okay, so... And the fire rod? Wow, game, you stink. That is horrible. Jeez, okay. Well, now you can go back and beat Skullwoods. Oh, wait, you can't. You're in the late world now. Sorry. So, was that... if would you assume at this point that that was your intended means of getting that lamp, and not that the hammer is available somewhere?
I mean, oh, geez, they're probably in the same sphere, I would think, because probably the hammer is also just behind this flute and these mitts in the mire area would be my guess, but... Alright, here we are. We are going to get the mirror from GGW.
Now, right now, things are looking pretty rough for GGW, but we're not done yet. We still have to figure out what our last pendant dungeon is, and then from there, we need to figure out what our required items are. Because, like, right now, like, if T-Rock is required, that all of a sudden just... I mean, I guess that would just add an ice rod. Myers a crystal, we can beat that right now. That is completely beatable. Ice Palace is beatable. Actually...
Well, we need a hammer for ice, but...
Yeah. I'm just... we don't need any dungeon... dungeon items.
Yeah.
So we need a bow, we need bow and hammer, definitely. We need to find Thieves Town and Ice. I don't think we found either of those. So there's still... What I'm trying to get is there's still plenty of room for things to go the other way if a required big key or item is in a stupid spot. So
yeah, and the fact that GGW is headed straight toward Eastern Palace at the Hera entrance, I mean, I think this is the only good thing that Wolfjig has gotten out of that mirror, besides those mitts. So if GGW says, okay, great, I got flute, I know where mitts are, let me just rush that and hope the rest of these mirror checks are junk, he'll be correct, and that'll catch him up pretty fast.
yeah, and hopefully he also mirrors and does the back of, or does the magic bat drop down, gets his 2 fire sources as well. There's Swamp Palace, chilling over in the desert area, so... And there's Ice Palace, okay. Ooh, not going in. I might have gone in for the first chest. At least. But
yeah, maybe...
At the same time...
Checkerboard and the other entrances here is the plan.
Yeah. The other thing to think about is we can do right side Ganon's tower now that we have that fire rod. Gross. I believe Wolfjig should have the GT big key as well now, because I believe that was in Paradox Cave, right?
Oh, where was that? Oh, and Thieves Town.
Jeez, okay, well, that flute is very required. But the game wanted you to go, as far as I know, the game wanted you to get the mirror to go get the mitts, to mirror, drop down to the back of Kakariko Well to get the lamp, to go get your flute out of Easter. Very funny game. Very funny. Desert Big Key, where was... That was off of Green Penitent. Okay. I think that's like the only thing that Warpjig is missing. That GGW has.
And again, that'll be another thing that just for efficiency is going to loop in with Pyramid and the top of Hyrule Castle stuff.
Mm-hmm. No, this is a tough spot to be in to go, like... What's a worse feeling? Doing Thieves Town without the small key but having hammer, or doing Thieves Town with the small key but no hammer? I guess generally you'd always want to have the hammer.
Yeah, it's okay. I have a trick for this, because what you can do is... So if you skip that small key in that room that Wolfjig was just in, then you get stuck having to loop back around if you find the hammer in Thieves Town. So every time I've ever come in with the small key and no hammer, I've skipped it, I've then found the hammer immediately. So it's a good way to just make the hammer appear, is skip that small key.
Ah, interesting. Good to know.
Your mileage may vary on that trick, but it always works for me, so...
I believe this was another really good find over here on East Death Mountain. Not Waterfall Ferry, but the drop below that. Yeah,
Oh,
this is
but
where Arcana
it's
Samaria
behind,
was.
yeah.
Okay. So yeah, GGW making some really good calls here, finding the goodies. The question really is, like, does he remember to, or does he consider dropping in the back of Magic Bat? I'm really curious to see where this hammer is going to end up being. He also can check this second item in here too. So this could be a huge, moment for GGW, who's trying to make a comeback. Yeah, and we also did see that Meyer was the Ether Medallion, which was at a Zelda cell, which was locked by the Hyrule Castle small key up on Ether Tablet. I don't think we've actually been in there yet. While GGW gets a big 20 out of the second chest, so nothing too exciting there. But the Samari is good.
We'll take a little off script here on the blind fight, but no big deal with the amount of health we're at now.
GGW about to have a big old laugh. Or seething. He's gonna be seething after this. He'll get his 6 pod small here, and then he'll be like, oh right, I could have done this sooner. But, you know, resolving logic is always, I think it's a pretty important part as well when playing through a seed. You know, unless you don't ever want, unless you don't need to.
And we've talked about how cross-key seeds vary a lot, but an hour 30 first crystal is absurd.
Yes. Oh yeah, big time. Just nothing behind that ether, so that's a useless medallion. We did get Quake off a blind, but since TR is Bombos, that Quake is also useless for the most part. Ooh, unfortunate. I don't remember what was... Oh, he has a fairy. He's fine.
Yeah, I think
that was the fairy he got in Hera, I believe.
I think he was just trying to get to Hyrule Castle, maybe to take a Death Warp in here and refill, or no, maybe he's just looking to connect and get out. Oh, probably connecting back to the pod area to check top of Hyrule Castle, which is where Werfjig is going as well.
Well, aside from having a lot of dungeon info and, you know, 2 fire sources in the midst, there's still a little bit more still left to look for. I mean, we found all of our dungeons now, didn't we?
Yes, we do still need to find the dam to actually open up Swamp, but we know where all the actual dungeons are.
Can't imagine we have too many good item caves left. We did see Spike Cave at one point, but we still don't have the hammer for that. We did see Mimic Cave. We don't have the hammer for that. 2 fairy fountains up here so far. And then Werfjig will probably drop down and get his green pendant turn in for the Desert Big. Wow. What a crock.
Completely useless. Yeah, I think we've seen all of the really good item caves. We've seen Hookshot, we've seen Hype, Mini Moldorm, The Well, Blind's Hut. So yeah, all the good ones are gone. Might be some ones somewhere around, but...
So, if Swamp ends up being the last pendant, and we don't need to get anything out of there, like, we don't even need to find the dam. But we do need to find some goodies. And who knows? This could be a seed that forces you into Ice Palace, potentially. I believe this connector will kick us out at the bumper entrance over on GGW side, so heading in that direction to go get their mitts. This will be new information too. So how would you be feeling in this position if you were playing this seed? If you were, like, Warp Jig?
I mean, again, that hour and a half first crystal feels pretty bad, but, I mean, it was just all locked so deep into the seed. You have to expect that your opponent has gone through a lot of the same stuff. I mean, he got that mirror out of pod, I mean, about as early as you could reasonably expect to.
Yeah.
Hook shot over to that side of the mountain immediately, but you know, you can't expect to god route it every single time. So
right.
I think you might feel bad just in general on how long things have taken, but for this particular seed, I think Warpjig has been pretty efficient for the most part. And it really was just bad luck from GGW on the mirror being the one thing in pod that he didn't check the first time around.
So right now, we could check a few things in Ice Palace. It wouldn't be very convenient because we don't have either keys for it. We can check the front 3 items in Turtle Rock. We can go beat Viddy. We can do right side Ganon's Tower, which, you know, would take us all the way to Ice Armos.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely like the Meyer cleanup as the first trip for Warpjig. I mean, you know it's a crystal. Or do we know it's a crystal? No, we don't. But
no, we don't. It might not be
a dungeon that we can clear out. So odds are it's a crystal, right? Because he knows where the green pendant is, and that Skull Woods is another of our pendants. So
yeah, I'm kind of shocked he didn't. Well, wait, did he? Did he have a fire source the first time he found Skull?
No, because that was right before the fire rod from the Smith turn-in and the well, so.
Oh, okay.
On that point, I think GGW didn't even check the back of Skullwood's entrance. Just grabbed the mitts and then left.
Oh, so missed out on the like didn't go into the left side brother's house?
Yes.
Okay. Well,
unless I just missed him doing that, but
I don't think yeah, I don't know. Okay, well this is good for GGW. Gonna get those 2 fire sources. So, you know, other than being, you know, 2 crystals, a whole Thieves Town, and soon to be a Viddy behind. I'm still looking for so many things. And I'm sure if you're these runners, you're like, don't make me go to Ganon's Tower.
Right. And especially like you're hoping for bow for go mode, so you don't even have to think about the climb.
I mean, fortunately, Ganon's Tower is in the Light World at Ice Rock Cave, so it's not the worst thing to go to. We haven't seen Bombo Sabot either, though. I don't think either runner has done it, because it's kind of awful to get to.
Yeah, again, at least until we find the hammer and have real Dark World access.
Yeah, I think I like what Warpjake is doing. I think just going for beatable crystal dungeons is the right call. Especially ones that you've already cleared the majority of. Because, you know, if the items that you're looking for are just showing up along the way, then you're saving a bunch of time checking entrances, looking for potential item caves. I kind of am getting this sinking suspicion that there's going to be a hammer on the right side in GT.
Yeah, it looks like GGW is also sort of suspicious of this fire rod, is going to the back of the Skullwoods area to check this one entrance, and probably going to mirror to check the pedestal as well.
Warpshake side, we're seeing a fun utilization of the cape. Hold on. What big key is this? Okay, ice spells. Logically required one. We don't know what's in the big chest either. But yeah, if you use your cape and you want to try and save as much magic, if you spam slash while using the cape, then the magic drains a lot slower. So you can stay protected while you're beating up on the small eyeballs. The only downside is it is a little slow. But it is safe, and it's better to be slow than to be dead in this game. Speaking of dead, the pedestal is very much dead. And Misery Mire appears to be a crystal, which means our last pendant is either going to be at Swamp Palace or at T-Rock. And I gotta ask, would you personally rather the pendant be at T-Rock and you don't have to find an ice rod, or Swamp and you don't have to find the dam?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you the same thing. You know what? I've been on enough ice rod hunts. I'd much rather be on an entrance hunt at this point.
That sounds like the majority of my experience with the SG Live casual boots. I don't know how many of the like 3 out of the 5 qualifiers I did were ice rod hunts for Go mode. And you know what? It just gets a little tiresome after a while.
Yep.
Yeah, this is looking like our GT. Oh, okay, first we're going to do the front of T-Rock. That's kind of convenient that they're right next to each other. So.
Yeah, so this will be pretty much everything out of T-Rock except the Trinex item, I believe.
Mm-hmm. You're looking for a bow for Eastern and Pod. A hammer for Ice Palace. And potentially Swamp, if Swamp is a crystal. I guess that would be kind of the only use that we need the hammer for, really. Or those 2 dungeons. Which happen to be right next to each other in the mire area. Well, actually, on the desert ledge. But yeah, we don't need any more big keys. There's our bow. There's our bow! Wow, game. That's real cool. Thanks. Holy moly. Well, I would absolutely bail on Pod, or on GT to go beat Pod and Eastern. Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Well, I guess you would be going for 1 item in each dungeon. I would at least skip out on the climb here.
Yeah, I agree. I think there's no way I'm climbing at this point, even with the bow. There's just, you know, other dungeons we can go dip into.
Yeah, we're still looking for that stinking hammer anyway.
And again, now that we have the flute, it's not like it's a hard trip to get back here. So.
Right. Show me hammer. Nope, nope, nope. Hold on. Right here? No, no. Not with this one. Gross. there's one thing that Crosskeys has done is it's made me consider GT key logic a lot more. Because, I mean, you could go upstairs and use your keys.
Right.
So I don't even think this direction is in logic then?
Yeah, because you should always assume you even have one less key than you do, because you could always, waste a key on the stupid door next to Hope Room, right? So...
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna get 5 more items here. And the rest of GT, we're still looking for that hammer. And then we're looking for, we're looking for dungeon info. Like, if you get, like, a T-Rock or a swamp map, that'd be sick right now. So, right now, you really don't have a reason to be checking new entrances. Unless you're looking for the dam. But even then, like, without the hammer, there's not much you can do in swamp anyway. You can get the first chest, that's it.
This is definitely a weird spot to be in, because, you much prefer to know, like, okay, I need to look for items or I need to look for entrances, but when it's like, I need an item or an entrance, but I'm not sure which one, it's just maddening.
Nice small key. Okay, now it's in logic. No, I guess we're going... Yeah,
Ooh.
I think if I understand it correctly, with 3 small keys, I think the only thing that's not in logic upstairs is Moldarm chest?
Yeah, I believe that's correct.
So you'd be going up there for 3 checks, an out-of-logic check, and then 2 out-of-logic uncle checks. But, what the hell is logic anyway?
So there was the first crystal for GGW. Is going to find the Ice Palace entrance here. We'll see if he decides to dip into it.
Man, I would at least check the first chest. But that's just me. Alright, where is our hammer? Will it be in stinking GT tile room? Otherwise we're gonna go beat Eastern. Nope, just Big 20. So we have Armos. We have a couple chests in Ice Palace. We have a couple chests upstairs GT. We have Chess Game, which we haven't seen. That was nothing. Is that it? And then, maybe a couple item caves that we still haven't found yet. I've not been tracking which ones we have or have not found.
Yeah, let's see. We've got, like, the Bombos tablet. Have we seen the Graveyard Ledge entrance?
I don't think we've... No, I don't think either of them have checked that.
I think we've also got the King's Tomb entrance.
Yeah, I don't think I've seen them check that either. We also have Tile Root or Hera Basement. That's another possibility now that we have the fire sources for it.
Yeah, fun times.
Gross. I guess if I were these runners, I'd just hope an Ice Rod shows up. And then you could just go beat Trinex and then have that info.
Yeah, honestly, just beating Trinex might be faster than checking these garbage entrances that we have left, so...
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is a very late hammer. And if it's upstairs GT, then that just is horrible. Well, maybe we did see King's Tomb if GGW is skipping it.
Yeah, we must have. Some nice heads-up routing there from GGW, taking that whirlpool back to the GT Turtle Rock area.
All right, almost to the top. Let's see what we can find in here. Well, if we don't get anything else up here, at least we'll have our dungeon info. There's the swamp map.
I think that's officially the most excited I've ever been to see a map show up in Cross Keys.
There's the powder. There's another fetch quest that we can do. Yeah, because Magic Bat, I think, was at Kakariko Well. And just a heart container. Okay. Well, we're still on the hunt. You know, it's there's a very particular way you can do that falling bridge room to never get hit. When you go over there, you have to like walk. First, you dodge the first fire bar, but then you have to walk down a little bit to get the second fire bar to start moving, and then the pattern works out that you can walk through without taking any damage.
Yeah, there's a lot of weird Cross Keys specific stuff in GT in particular, like bomb jumps on the left side, because just you're never in this dungeon with low equipment in any other sort of run. I guess maybe
like
seeds, but
from the Cross Key seeds I've done, where like I find GT and I don't have the boots or hook shot, but I suck at the bomb jumps, and then I miss out on something required in the double firebar room. It's funny every time.
GGW also in here before he went into Turtle Rock to find both of those bows, so we're going to see a Master Sword Armos fight.
And we are going to be looking for an Ice Rod. Swamp is our last pendant. Well, that's a nice reward from your Uncle of Vanilla Sword. Yeah, that is kind of unfortunate, missing out on the two bows, which he'll get probably after this, because obviously he's not going to climb with no bows. But yeah, other than information, that and a sword, that was not really... That wasn't really worth it. I mean, having that info is good, but... What do you do now? I guess you go beat Eastern?
Yeah, now those, even if it's one item, those are a little bit more appealing, since we know that's all we're looking for.
Utilizing that sword beams, gets through Ice Armos, gets another small key, mirrors out, and probably heading straight to that T-Rock to get those two bows, and then, unless he does not recall that that was the front of T-Rock. Well, that is a bit unfortunate then. You know, it makes sense. He probably would have checked that before GT, maybe, if he had recalled, but...
Yeah, looks like maybe an ice dip, though, now? Oh, on not enough magic to actually get into the dungeon. Ugh.
So Magic Bat, beat Eastern, or a couple checks in Ice Palace. What I'm still wondering what entrances we still haven't seen yet. Or Bombo's Tablet. I think that was the other one. You know, we can't do Big Bomb yet without beating Ice Palace. And we can't beat Ice Palace without the hammer that we need.
Yeah, on my map, I think the only entrances that we haven't seen are hammer locked. There's like the Hammer House in the Dark Village and Hammer Pegs, and then GT itself.
Okay. So there's a very good chance that the dam could be at Ganon's Tower and Swamp is not required at all. And then, you know, you go into Ice Palace, you get your hammer, you get your Ice Rod, and you're good to go. Unless you're GGW, who needs to remember to... Well, this might work out. If he does find hammer or Ice Rod in here, especially Ice Rod, he would very likely go beat Trinex, which would send him back to the front of T Rock, where he would be able to get his 2 bows.
Yep.
It looks like Werfjig misremembered where Magic Bat was. That's another, like, very important aspect about this about cross keys in particular is your method of taking notes. And I feel like everybody has different methods of taking notes. And it's a tough skill to get used to for this, but it can be game changing. For instance, like in this situation where, you know, GGW either didn't write down where the front of T-Rock was, or just forgot about it or something, missing out on those bows for a little bit longer. It might work out, though, because it might not send him up the climb, so he might find his other items that he needs before getting that. Remind me again where the Ice Palace Big was? Was it in just like a one-off?
I think it was behind the Skullwoods entrance, the back of
okay.
Entrance.
Right, it was Checkerboard Cave. Right, is it required? Maybe. We don't know. Ugh.
And this hammerless IP routing, just super awkward.
Mm-hmm. If he had already had a small key, he could have set up the icebreaker to make it a little bit quicker, but without a small key, you can't get out of the spike room. The spike U room, so has to go this way around and then go up to the north, hookshot across and do all that stuff, so...
Yeah, and of course, awkwardly, that spike chest is gettable even without hammer, but if you go to it by icebreaker, then you're stuck there, so...
Honestly, in this situation, I would have probably just mirrored out and then just icebreaker to get those last 2 checks. But if this is where our hammer is hiding, then Werfjig is not going to be too far behind. Remember, we're close to 2 hours, and we only have 2 crystals on Werfjig's side. I can't do much up here, GGW, unfortunately. This is me doing Ice Palace, but doing it without a glove. I do that way too often. All right, that's not the answer. So, Bombo's Tablet, Eastern Palace boss.
We could get to Mothula. Mothula's got an item.
Mothula. This is coming down to the wire, and that shovel we did just get.
Yeah, that's true.
That would be pretty rude.
Oh, I really hope GGW notices that he has not checked that Left Side Brothers entrance.
Oh, yeah, because that's where Moth was. It looks like this route will, if he doesn't double back on what you just said, then this will be shovel into Bombo's tablet. Well, for his sake, he's gonna need Moth to be holding nothing.
We see Werfjig taking the optimistic route through Ice Palace, doing the bomb jump, and hoping he's going to find the hammer here.
Nope. So not a required Ice Palace double dip. Yeah, because that's the thing is Werfjig does not have that Ice Palace big chat or big key. So if that shovel had actually led to something required, that would have been real bad. Is this our hammer? No, it certainly isn't. All right, let's go to Eastern. I think it's time.
GGW has no bow, though, unfortunately.
That is true. That is
It's a big barrier to finish.
Unfortunate. Yeah, I kind of need that, don't you?
I don't know if the single arrow is the exact opposite of the hammer, but it's pretty close.
It's when it's super out of the way like Bombo's tablet was, that is probably the last thing you want to see. All right, GGW, what do you have left to do at this point? So I sure as hell don't know. I guess he missed checking King's Tomb earlier. That's what I thought, but it was just a bomb farm, an ammo farm spot. So yeah, I mean, our answer at this point is very likely going to be on Armos then, right?
Yeah, kind of feels that way.
Or Mothula. It's one of the two bosses. Which I am a little surprised, like, you wouldn't go beat Armos, like, right away. I mean, there's no way you're gonna do it faster. So... Oh yeah, and Hera Basement. Gosh, all that's left are... I mean, the Armos one's fine, but, you know, Bennett Boss, Hera Basement... We got Bombo's tablet out of the way, and that was nothing.
Oh, we do have... Oh, no, we don't have Spike Cave. Need a hammer. Never mind.
Yeah, and I guess GGW could go back and kill Lamulas. I guess he hasn't done that one yet. That's pretty unfortunate about missing out on front of TR. That's kind of the second time GGW has kind of forgotten about checking stuff in T-Rock, first with the Crystal Roll Room, and now with the front here. And for Team I Like Big Boots, this is a pretty important race. A win here would give them a playoff spot. I think all they had to do was win 1 of 2 matches this week. But it's cross keys, and for the most part, anything can happen.
Yeah, and we see now that GGW is sort of picking up on some of these mirror checks that, you know, before I was saying that if he could sort of zero in right on the progression, right, get to that flute, get to that fire rod, things like that right after the mirror, and not have to do all of these one-offs, but now running out of other stuff to do, the one-offs are going to start eating up a lot of time.
Mm-hmm. Oops. A little early on that arrow before the Igor was fully vulnerable. I'll lose a little bit more time there. What are we gonna get? Now the thing is, like, Trinex is still not in logic because we still need another TR small logically. So I'm guessing this is gonna be that hammer. 10 arrows. Okay, well, wow. I guess it's boy. I guess it's Mothio then, huh?
Hammer on Moth, I guess.
Which right, because it was okay. So you go, you mirror, you get your mitts, you check that it's Moth, and then you immediately go up, you ditch your mirror just to get to the back of Kakariko Well, which was locked at Magic Bat. That gets you your Fire Rod. So then you would have to go back into the Dark World and dash all the way down and mirror just to get a pendant Mothula cleared.
Yep.
I don't know out of the majority of people that play this mode that would have immediately gone and done something like that. So I feel like this is the second time now where GGW has been kind of standing, thinking, big thinking. Yeah, there's definitely been a few moments where he's checked one thing but missed something else that was next door. The other time was like, you know, checking Graveyard Ledge but not King's Tomb, getting the mitts but not checking the left side maze race, dipping back into GT but not going back into TR front. Air basement. There it is!
Oh my goodness.
So, okay. Super Bunny Cave, located in Dark Ice Rod Cave, had the Hera Small. Then you just had to get your fire source from back of the well by getting your mirror from Vanilla Big Key Chest in Pod, to go get your mitts from left side maze race by mirroring over there, to then mirror behind the magic bat peg to get to the back of the well to get your fire source, to go to Hera Basement to get your hammer. But we're not done yet, chat. We still need to find an ice rod now. It's an ice rod hunt. Of course it is.
All of that just to get to the ice rod hunt portion of the game.
We've been working so hard just to get to that part of the game, because that's the real part of the game after all this. It's finding that ice rod. I'd be mad. I'd be very mad.
Yeah, we'll see if GGW decides to head to Hera Basement after this desert clear.
Yeah, right now this race is definitely in Werfjig's hands, just, you know, obviously with progression in hand, but as well having, you know, more stuff done, including that GT climb. You know, Ganon's Gone Wild is, if he finds Ice Rod somewhere, or if he gets his hammer and then finds Ice Rod, and then his go mode is the bow, then he'd be able to save some time not climbing GT. But then he'd be playing with a sword behind, and, you know, he's got a bit of a ways to go to catch up here.
Yeah, and I guess the question is, where would GGW find the ice rod that Werfjig is not going to find it even sooner at this point?
Well, it doesn't look like we're going to be seeing Hera Basement from GGW anytime soon. Well, that's the thing, is this seed really could come down to, cool, you got the hammer. Now go find the dam at, you know, Hammer Pegs,
right,
or the hammer potion, the shop that's in Village of Outcasts, and then go into Pendant Swamp to go find your ice rod on Left Side Swamp or on Argus or something. I mean, at this point, that's a very likely possibility. We do also have Left Side GT now. That's you know, Stalfos room, Rando room. It's like 10 checks.
And don't blame GGW for taking the same trip into Mire. Again, a dungeon you can clear. We know this is a crystal, so this will work out pretty well. It's a lot more appealing than Hera Basement.
Mm-hmm. Now the question is, like, if you're Werfjig, do you go back into Ice Palace without the big key when you're one item away from go mode? I mean, I'd probably rather do that than search for the dam somewhere in the overworld.
Yeah, I would say your options are left side GT or go back to ice. Wolfjig's going to clean up this one item left in Agate Tower just because he's hoping to never come back to the mountain, I think. But
All right, where are we going?
I mean, my gut says just go to ice, bet against Ice Palace, Big Chest being anything, and just clear the crystals.
Yeah. Well, the good thing is he'll be able to icebreaker, so we won't have to see another Ice Palace bomb jump on Warpjig's side, and that opens up 2 more checks along the way, and then the boss. So we're gonna get 3 checks done in here, and if one of them ends up being the ice rod, then we're gonna be done in the next couple minutes.
And I don't know about you, but sometimes these decisions are a little bit more just like, how bad would I feel if I lose the race because of this? Like, if I just go straight to TR and hope the ice rod is there, I don't feel so bad about that. If it turns out it was like on Smith Chain or someplace dumb later, because I'll feel worse about if I went to Smith Chain and then I should have just gone straight to Turtle Rock and bet on the ice rod being there.
It's it, it's tough because it kind of for me depends on like what else I have left to do in the seed. If ice rod's my go mode, and I've already done like all the mirror checks, then I'm like, whoo, straight to T Rock because if you can save that portal, that's always great. Um, okay, hold on, is this our ice rod? No, that's a map. The Turtle Rock. Well, there you go. In case you didn't get climb GT, that's where you can get your other piece of info. Um, but yeah, when you're this late in a seed, it's really easy to be like, okay, I just have to skip one thing this time and just hope that's not it. And it always feels bad when that's you're leaving Swamp Palace looking for one item, and you leave Argus has the big key, and you leave the item in the big chest, and that ends up being your go mode, and you lose because of that. I'd imagine it doesn't feel very good. Wonder what MSU pack Warpjig's using.
Yeah, I think for me it just comes down to I don't feel so bad if I was taking a big swing for the win, right? If you go down swinging,
Yeah.
that's okay. If you go down playing it a little bit too safe, that kind of feels bad to me.
Mhm. I mean, I'd feel personally, I lose more races to over clearing the overworld versus making a big play that doesn't pay off. But making the big play is always so much more scary than skipping overworld or yeah, whatever. 2 maps. This one's to Meyer.
Oh, this
Okay.
does also open up the Pyramid Fairy entrance. We weren't thinking about that one.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't think it's in logic without some ice palace small, so probably wouldn't even be thinking about it. I mean, it's definitely not in logic or warp jig without the big key. So
Yes. Oh my gosh. Ice Palace small key logic. Don't get me started.
all right, this is the left side GT play. This would be good. Oh. All right, who's not taking good notes? Come on.
I mean, to be fair, on the tracker I use, these 3 entrances are all really close together. It's hard to see where the sticker is on for which one it's
True.
attached to.
Yeah, this is the first time we're seeing this because we just got our hammer like I don't know, 5 minutes ago. I'm sure if I just do back of the well or that whole like mirror to get to the well to get fire sources, the first thing I'm not thinking of is hair basement ever. The seed was interesting that it put both fire sources together and it put both the bows right next to each other.
Yeah, we're just gonna have to make it 2 rando room because Werfjig has already done the rest of this. And then if it's not here, then feels like we're looking for the dam to get into swamp.
Hey, isn't this the exact example I talked about at the beginning of the race? Where it either comes down to full clearing GT. Well, I said GT climb, but it either comes down to full clearing GT or a dipping pendant swamp for Goma.
Yep.
What are the odds? That is that's Castle Tower. That's another thing I guess we could be looking for would be our fourth sword. We don't know where that one is. Probably in swamp. You know what they say? It's always a sword in swamp. All right. Last 4 checks here in GT. There it is. Okay. Well, I don't know what the timer's at now because Warfjag started his timer late, so it wasn't used, and Ganon's Gone Wild is apparently without internet. But we have the Ice Rod. We're gonna go beat Trinex, and we're gonna go beat the game.
This is the other thing that's fun about cross keys is you hit a point at the end of the seed where you're just like, okay, I'm going to go beat 3 bosses in about 5 minutes and then go straight to Ganon. It's sort of the boss rush at the end. I think is more fun than the GT climb.
It kind of is because you still have to kind of think about how you want to route stuff if they end up being in kind of weird places. It's like, okay, how do I route? What order do I route this in so that I end up as close as possible to where Ganon is? I guess it doesn't matter that much when you have the flute.
And the opposite end of what you said before of sometimes you're in Dark World on 4 Hearts Green Mail. By the end of a cross key seed, you are almost always super well equipped, so you can just sort of burn through the last couple bosses in the Ganon fight.
Yeah, we're pretty stacked at this point. Well, I got to assume at this point this is Werfjig's race to lose. I'd almost go on a limb and say he's probably already won. But this is good for team. Did you check your boot? Going if he can get this, I mean they'll go 2-0 this week, which definitely puts them in very easy playoff contention, but also for potentially getting a higher seed going into playoffs. Because unlike last season, playoffs are a little bit different in the invitational side of things, where the top 4 teams from both division get seeded together, seeds 1 through 8, and then play off in a rounds 1 and 2, as opposed to just duking it out with your own division in playoffs. So there is a possibility you could end up playing someone again from your playoffs, or playing another team from your division, or from the other division in your conference. So these 2 are in the Lost Woods divisions. They would be duking it out with the Kakariko Village division, which I think is a nice change.
I don't think I've ever seen Ganon end up there in phase 1.
Yeah, you got to watch out if you get in front of him. Sometimes he's like, hold up, let me stop right here. Yeah, the seed had, honestly, with some of the item placements, the seed was kind of rude, I'd say. With vanilla big key chest and pod being required, Terra basement being required, mirroring at Magic Bat being very required. Those are things that people don't often consider very quickly.
Yeah, I mean that's just like 3 very likely last locations. In fact, Hera basement or the vanilla big key chest and pod. So yeah, definitely some unfortunate item placements here.
Mhm. And that is gonna do it. Let's see if we can get an actual official time. But Worfjay gonna take it with a 2:17:44 and a forfeit from GGW. That is gonna do it for this race, folks. Let's get some GGs and Joe. What a fun seed. Boy, this is the kind of seed that makes you not want to play cross keys, right?
Yeah,
Or
I was
just
gonna say, it was definitely an extremely cross keys seed, that's for sure.
yes. Oh yeah, for sure. And we do welcome Werfjig to the commentary booth. GG's on your victory. How
Hey,
you feeling?
well, I'm very sweaty. Uh,
Same.
he's always, really picks up the nerves for me, so that's why I like to play with a nice calming MSU pack.
I was wondering which one were you using this time?
Hollow Knight for sure.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That is a good one. Yeah, I mean, you had some pretty good some pretty good luck on your side, especially just when you were finding certain things. Like finding
Yeah.
pod when you already had 5 small keys was huge for you.
I think that was the big thing, and I don't remember exactly where all those pod keys were, but I do know that there were some that I saw as I picked it up, and I was like, oh, that's kind of a rough place for it. Like, even though it was hard required, I'm pretty sure, because I forget what I think Desert Big Key was on Sahasrara, but finding the I think there was a pod small on Moldorm.
There's one in Moldorm. There's one in Crystal Roller Room.
Yeah, just
that
like,
was the one that GGW missed. I think their first time getting to Lava Chest and all that stuff. But that was also after he'd already been there. He got to pod, I think, with only 3 keys, and then found his 4th one in there. So generally when you have 4 keys and no way of skipping opening the front door, like most people would probably check Harmless Hellway and skip the vanilla big key chest. So
yeah, it's easier to come back to that big key chest, and like the route through Harmless Hellway kind of makes that hammering up a little easier. So that's typically the one I skip to.
Yeah, that was kind of unfortunate. And then he ended up getting his mirror pretty late. Still was able to turn stuff around pretty quickly, getting to the flute in Eastern and the mitts, and then the fire sources in the back of the well.
Yeah, I think
unfortunately,
I was really conflicted when I went into Eastern, but Tam mentioned that if I skipped Eastern the first time I found it, then I was off the team. So
well, I mean, flute, I don't think ended up being. No, it was absolutely required. Sorry, that was your only way into the Mire area, where you found like
a bunch of
4
dungeons.
I think.
Yeah.
So that was kind of a big deal.
Yeah, it was huge. That hammer really had me sweating though, because I had a list of a bunch of like really out of the way places for me to check. If I didn't find the ice rod in GT, I was gonna go straight for the Skullwoods Big, into Mimic Cave, into the Ped check. Honestly.
Yeah, we were discussing how you were probably feeling at the first crystal at hour and a half mark.
Oh, I think I made a point to show the number 1 on my webcam, which is up because I'm also playing SG Live, and didn't really bother to change my layout for this. But yeah, I felt really bad. There were a lot of things in this seed that made me feel really bad. But I mean, that just goes to show you that you just finish the game, and sometimes your opponent also has bad times.
Yeah, we were just saying, like, Hera Basement, Vanilla Big Key Chest, and Pod, just so many things that are out-of-the-way locations most of the time, so there was a decent chance that anybody playing the seed is going to get tripped up by one or more of those.
Yeah, and I think like the craziest things for me in the seed were, I was embarrassed. This is embarrassing to say, but I was committed to climbing before I went into TR, but then I was like, oh, I should just go into TR. And then when I found both of the bows, I remembered I needed a bow to climb anyway. So, so that was really kind of crazy. And then I think I kind of just mirrored on a whim in the Magic Batcave area, because I I realized, oh, this kind of works out. Like the reason I don't do this in a regular seed is because it's tough to get back and forth in the Dark World, and I think at that point I had Flute and Mitts, so it wasn't hard.
That opportunity kind of worked out really well, and it's
Yeah.
just really good that Moth ended up not ever having anything required. We never found out, but
Okay, but yeah, finding both fire sources right there, just both fire sources in one place, both bows in one place, is just kind of like,
yep.
Why does this happen?
I'm sure when you were done with GT, of course, you got a swamp map which let you know what your go mode was, or at least what your last pennant was, so you can, route accordingly. Like if swamp had ended up being a crystal, then it's like, well, I better go start looking for the dam. Once I find the hammer. I don't know if you were down to just hammer locations left.
No, I had a couple. I think I mentioned the Skullwood's big chest. I had Bombo's tablet that I didn't do.
Right.
The second chest in the castle tower. So, and also, oh yeah, sorry, Thief's Town Big was hammerlocked. I was really hoping to find the ice rod first, because I left the Thief's Town Big chest, and I'm like, I don't want to go back for that.
Yeah, that one's a bad one. And so I would assume the dam is either going to be at the Hammer Pegs, the Village of Outcast shop that's hammerlocked. Big Bomb, Pyramid Fairy could have been it, or GT, I guess.
Skullwood's Back, maybe?
Skullwood's Back was Checkerboard Cave that had the Ice Palace big key.
Okay. Yeah, GT could have been it. Yeah, it probably wasn't Pyramid Fairy. Although, I guess you just mentioned that you found the Ice Palace big.
Yeah, it would depend on where the other ice smalls were.
Yeah.
We were kind of nervous for you because the Ice Palace big chest had a shovel. Unfortunately, that led to junk, so
yeah,
that could have been bad.
Yeah, I think after I found the hammer, I was just like, my first priority was just like, let's clear those dungeons I couldn't finish, and then dive GT because that's an item dense location. But as I was going into ice, I remembered I didn't have that big key for it. And I was thinking, like, man, it's gonna hurt to have to triple dip this. So, I guess a lot of luck's involved.
Yeah, fortunately that worked out for you. So yeah, with that, you guys go 2-0 this week. I don't think you're set for playoffs yet, so you still got 2 more, next week to duke it out.
Next week we're against
definitely
the Titans.
Very good chance.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, against the currently undefeated team in your division.
And then I don't remember what their team name is, but we have Ace Zero, Waterloo, and Paradox in week 7.
Crosswords, Key Sanity.
That's it.
I think.
Yeah, we're playing them in the Randomizer. Is it Randomizer? Is Randomizer Keys co-op?
I think it's just Randomizer.
Oh.
I think, or is it Randomizer All Dungeons? Hold on.
Yeah, I think it's AD.
Yeah, I feel like it. Co-op, info share, open, defeat, Ganon, Randomizer. Huh.
Yeah.
Unless my sources are incorrect.
Cool. Well.
Either way, that's I'm personally I'm really looking forward to that week because I love the co-op weeks. They're the best.
Co-op weeks are the reason I play League. It's just so much fun.
Mm-hmm.
I sign up with my friends to play so I can play with my friends.
It just makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, GG's, man.
Thanks.
Congrats on your win. Enjoy your comfy weekend.
Yeah, we'll do. GG to GGW. Unfortunate about that mirror placement, and it looks like his stream died at some point. But yeah, thanks for the comms, thanks for the restream, thanks for the tracking, all that good stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. Big shout out to Ryu X, who has been doing the tracking for us this whole time. Keeping everything straight in cross keys is extremely difficult, so we definitely could not do it without you.
Thank you. Yeah, I believe we have some tourney action still going on today. Let me see if I can grab that schedule real quick for y'all. Actually, there is one right now, I believe, over on SpeedGaming 6. Rywak versus Paradox.
Ooh.
I believe that's going on right now. Or it's about to start. Coming up, 5:10 Eastern. What time is it now in Eastern time?
5:40.
5:40, so just started.
Okay, it's already started. All right, cool. Yeah, go there. Go watch that. But yeah, thanks for the comms. Thanks for the fun match. Thanks everybody for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Bye, everybody.